I'm going to say this name so I don't forget it. Magnus Daniel Humphrey. Hi guys, it's Adina. You are here with me Beyond the Veil. We're actually Beyond the Veil at an open house that I'm doing. I have about an hour left. I don't have any visitors, so I thought I might as well take the time to do a reading. Magnus Daniel Humphrey. I was just on Instagram scrolling and I came across the article of Magnus Daniel Humphrey. He was arrested and charged for the gruesome murders of the two young ladies. I believe they were models in Los Angeles who were murdered, tortured, and their bodies were stuffed inside of a refrigerator. Now, I do not have any abundance of details on this. I did remember hearing about it when it first happened last year. And I remember hearing that it wasn't just those two models, it wasn't just those two ladies, but several young ladies in that area. And I believe that they said that this man, Daniel Humphreys Magnus, was living with one of the ladies. So I'm going to read him to see if he did these things, to see why, and to see if he had any involvement with any of the other ladies that they found unalived in a similar fashion as they found these two ladies that they are charging him with. I may have to pause this just so I can see his name again, so give me a second, guys. Okay, so his name is Magnus Daniel Humphrey. Magnus is his first name. Melissa Mooney is the victim that I believe that they are charging him with. I believe that that's the woman that they said he had been staying in her apartment, although her family has no idea who he is. Magnus Daniel Humphrey and Melissa Mooney is the victim that they are charging him for, although I believe it's two women that they may be trying to charge him for. And I believe I saw comments that there were several women who were unalived in this area in Los Angeles in a similar fashion. I'm going to read to see if he had any involvement in those. Magnus Daniel Humphrey. 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 Magnus. Magnus Daniel Humphrey. Magnus Daniel Humphrey. Please, Most High God, please allow me to see and speak with the soul and the spirit of Magnus Daniel Humphrey. I see him in chains. I see him in chains, bound, arms behind his back, chains around his feet, jumpsuit. Obvious indicator of the state that he's in. Magnus Daniel Humphrey. He comes in with shuffling, obviously, because he can't walk correctly with chains around his feet, but his head is held high. It's not lowered. Magnus Daniel Humphrey. Talk to me about the murders that you are accused for. Did you do them? Why did you do them if you did? Magnus Daniel Humphrey, in this court, you are compelled to speak in spirit and in truth. Nothing will be hidden from me. I compel you to speak to me your truth. There is no judgment here. Speak your truth. Magnus Daniel Humphrey, about Melissa Mooney and about the other girls that you are implicated or accused of unaliving. Did you do it? Talk to me about what's currently going on with the accusations surrounding you and the murders that you allegedly are responsible for. The energy is gaining momentum. Don't let your past hold you back. Take time to breathe out. These are interesting cards. Be bold and make the first move. Prosperity lies ahead. Step out of your comfort zone. Were these girls working girls? I know that it said that they were models. Does anyone know if they were actually working girls? I get the energy of a working girl, and I get the energy of working girls being targeted. I get the energy of someone targeting working girls who has had either experience unaliving people or has always struggled or entertained ideas, fantasies about unaliving people. Methinks that something about their childhood, and I don't know if I'm speaking about Magnus, but I know I'm speaking about the person who did this. Something about their childhood and struggles that they had in their childhood that created or helped create the person they become today that would do something like this. I get the impression that they built up anticipation, or it's like the energy is built up before they do it. I don't know if it's like a sexual energy that's built up behind it. I think there's something sexual about the idea of hunting, stalking, tricking, sexing, and then torturing and unaliving these women. It gives me like somebody's kink. They get off vis-a-vis the torture more than the sex, because I do believe that sex is involved. I get though the sex and the torture, the smell of fear coming from the victim's adrenaline, pheromones, whatever chemical is released when we are afraid. I believe that is, what was that? Adrenochrome, something like that. Not adrenaline, but it's something else that is released when we are at fear. And it's like a perfume to this person. I also get in my mind that when the victim is releasing their spirit, the person likes to inhale the essence of that person's spirit. As they're breathing out their spirit, something about the person likes to inhale or smell or deeply inhale when that person is exhaling. That's what I see in my mind. Magnus Daniel Humphreys, talk to me about the crimes that you are being accused of. Did you do them? How? Why? What is the outcome? Talk to me about the murders that you're accused of these women in LA. The Chariot. I think it would help for me if I knew some of the details to this case. This gives me, though, the DA is feeling confident and successful in this case with Humphreys, challenging the Three of Cups. I think these are the girls. Methinks that they are trying to connect him to all of those murders. I don't know if they can yet, so they've only charged him with what the evidence allowed them to. But I do think that they are confident that they have the right person, and they are attempting to connect him to the other similar incidences that happened in the area. Knight of Swords in reverse. I think that's something that Magnus did or didn't do. I think that for whatever reason that he's arrested, he got himself arrested. Something that he did was reckless, or he left something behind, or some evidence. Something that was an oversight of his. Something that he feels like he never gets caught up doing. In order for him to get caught, that's how he got caught. Something that he was reckless in got him caught up. The Hierophant reversed. Something about this case won't be handled traditionally. I don't know if they're going to seal up proceedings so that they're not public. I don't know, but something about this isn't going to be handled on the up and up for some reason. Three of Pentacles in reverse, crowning him. In his mind, he did not do this. Crowning him, he had nothing to do with it. And in his mind, they are setting him up because they either can't find who really did it, or they don't want to find who really did it. But crowning him is, I didn't do it. So below, King of Pentacles. Methinks that he was paying these women, or at least that woman, Melissa Mooney, for her time. But he wasn't the one who did it. And this is what's in his mind. I paid for a good time, but I didn't unalive her. Now, in his current actions position is the Eight of Pentacles. That would make me think that he actually did do it. However, this also makes me wonder if there are efforts being taken to make him the one who did it, whether he did or didn't. If he had have done this, I would like to, in the present position, challenging position, recent past, actually, I would like to have seen the Devil card or the Emperor reversed, King of Wands reversed, one of those violent cards. I don't have any violent cards here for this man yet. So I'm going to have to take this and say that he thinks, since I'm reading him, he feels like there is a conscious effort and attempt. Somebody's doing a good job at making him the one who did it. External to him, strength. This gives me patience. It's almost like, I don't know if he has a lawyer or a public defender, but they are telling him to be patient, let the process play out, because the evidence will show that he did it. I think that he is confident, and his lawyer is telling him, because I get that he is very, very upset about what is going on with him, his perceived railroad. His lawyer is trying to tell him, be patient, let's do this the right way. The evidence will show that you didn't do this. But he's raging. He wants to yell out everything that he knows and stuff like that, but he's being advised to play it a certain way. Hopes and fears is that they bury him, and that the real evidence that is possibly out there, because this man feels like he didn't do it. So he feels like there has to be real evidence out there that they're either overlooking or intentionally not showing, not acknowledging it. And his fears is that this is an intentional effort, that it's not just we really don't know and we think this man could be it. His hopes and fears, his fears is that this is an intentional setup outcome. Page of Cups. I get something will be produced, some information will be produced, and because I'm reading him, and this is the Page of Cups upright, methinks that this will be in his favor. He will like whatever information is produced, and it will probably be some information that alludes to maybe your case against him isn't as solid as they thought it was. I'm going to start with the Chariot. I think that the DA needs to find out who did this. I think that there could be some evidence or something that was lost, something that was messed up in the investigating crime scene realm, something that wasn't done on the up and up, either intentionally or accidentally. On the police's part, that may come out, something that they may have messed up in the investigation, or possibly because I see her family has no idea what she really does for money. I think that there could be multiple suspects because of what this girl allegedly was doing, not just modeling. There's also an issue of not wanting to do a full-fledged investigation. It's almost like it'll just be easier to pick the easiest person that they could associate her with, because there could be a few people that she could have been seeing in Hollywood and LA. And I think it would cost a lot of money to do a real full-fledged investigation to find out who really did this. I see hookups here. Okay. It's like they also don't want LA to be alarmed about having a serial person on the loose. Something about the finances of the city. It's like they need to button this up. I don't know why I see something keeping people from moving from that area. If they knew that there was a serial killer out in this area. It's almost like people would move. Something that's going on in LA. They feel like if they don't wrap this situation up, it will make people afraid of being there. And they're trying to keep fear down, I think, or keep people from moving because it's happening in a certain location, in a certain area. Challenge. These girls were ladies of the night. Whether they walk the streets, they don't do that anymore. They advertise on social media now. This lady was, and the challenge is they have no idea who could have done this because of what these ladies were involved in. And they also would like to, they also do know that those other ladies were connected. This has been happening. Somebody has been doing this, and the authorities have been aware of the commonalities between all the cases. So they want to wrap this up before they have a serial killer issue on their hands, which they do or did. Near future, the Hierophant reverse. I'm afraid that something explosive might come out that may lend to the fact that they don't have everything as tightly wrapped up around this man that they have locked up as they think they do. This man is concerned about an injustice being done to him. Now, why is this justice in reverse here for this man? I want to look into that because at first I was like, okay, well, when I first started this, I get the impression that this man feels like he didn't do it. He's being set up. But then it also looked like, well, he could have. And I think that he could have because he was involved with this girl, but he just wasn't the one. He just wasn't the one. Let me look into this justice in reverse, because if it came out while I'm reading him, then it tells me that he has an injustice being done against him and it's on his mind. He's concerned about it. He believes that this injustice against him is being charged for these deaths because they won't be successful at solving it the correct way, because they can't find the one who did it for real. In this man's energy, he did not do this. In this man's energy, he didn't do it. I don't know if he got the money out to hire a real lawyer instead of a DA. I think he didn't have the money, maybe, so he doesn't have any choice but to work with the DA. And he's concerned that he's not going to get the representation that he deserves for the truth, because he feels like he wants nothing more than the truth to come out so that he can get out and be released. But he doesn't think it's going to happen, even though, again, this man says he's not guilty and he feels like he didn't do it. Let me look into this Eight of Pentacles. Me thinks that his defense might be aware that something in the evidence isn't clean. This is LA, so I think that they know all about unethical practices in the legal department. Something to do with documentation or evidence that may... I don't know if his attorney has any kind of relationship with the prosecutor's office, and they could be working together to set this man up and make sure he doesn't get justice. Strength. I wonder if the person who's really responsible for these isn't somebody of fame and notoriety, somebody who feels untouchable by the law. So whatever deep, dark desires or shadow side that they have, they can unleash their beasts in the streets of Hollywood, like so many have done and still do, and have the protections to not go down for it. I think that there is someone powerful connected to these cases that has the money and the resources to pay people to set someone else up so that the truth is never uncovered. There is some information that has been shared with the authorities that has been ignored, overlooked. Information, evidence, something's been overlooked intentionally. Again, I think that the person who really is involved in this is someone that they don't want to be known for this. Someone who has connections to the legal force in LA that can pull the strings to get things, to get the heat off of them. Hopes and fears, the sun in reverse. This man, while he's going through court in his mind, he's always going to be thinking that the judge is in on the setup and the cover-up. Even though he's pleading not guilty, this is a man who already knows or feels like his fate might be sealed, because he knows that they need somebody that's a nobody to go down for this. It seems like there's talk around LA, and even this man, since he's the accused, he's heard rumors and conspiracies. He's very well aware that I think that they won't for funding. They can't, for various reasons. They're not going to do the actual legwork to really solve this and get true justice. He seems to be fully aware. Page of Cups as the outcome. They may get some information, or we may hear some information about a reason why this man might not have done it. Something will be revealed that will make us question, us public. Not saying that it's going to affect his legal situation, because if they want him taken down, they'll have him taken down. There's going to be, as they are rolling out this case against him, there are going to be people who come out and speak and say, no, this isn't right. They are going to talk about things that have happened in that building, around that building, people who are actually civilians close to the situation, that have information, that know this area and know what's been going on, are gonna say something isn't right, because it was several girls. This man couldn't have such and such. This man was reportedly, there's gonna be chatter from people that are not the media, that are not law enforcement, who are civilians, who live in the building, live close to the building, know some of these people, live in the area, that are going to be talking about how something isn't right with the man that they have, that they are accusing for this. I'm getting that reading reading, what's the man's name? Something Humphrey Daniels, Magnus, reading him. All I will say is that in his mind, he did not do this, and he's believing that he's being set up for one of the many reasons that the police in LA have to set someone else up for something else most likely for someone else that they know, they value, and that they're protecting. That's what it looks like. Or it's just the fact that they don't know. It's just so many people who could have done this, because these ladies were involved in the nightlife, so to speak. It costs a lot of money that they don't want to spend to find who did this. It caused too much civil unrest within the people, being afraid. They need to wrap this up for various reasons, and this man feels like he's going to be the solution to LAPD's problem. That's what I have. I'll just keep my ears open for this case, and I'll maybe do a follow-up later if there's a reason to. All right, guys, I will see you guys later. Love you, bye.